And welcome back to another Odd Man Out. I am your host, Harrison. I am here with Faust, and we are going to be trying to convince Boss Pander this week to check out Delver.
Yeah, Delver, a game that originally started on Android.
Yes.
And was released to early access on Steam in 2013.
Yes.
And has this, it's just a really great art style we both enjoy.
How is it that nobody's really heard of this game if it's been out so long?
I don't really know for sure. It's probably just got kind of lost in the mix, or they've not really been wanting to promote it until they actually had something worth promoting.
Yeah, I don't think it's been... I mean, the Android version was promoted back in 2012, so it was about 4 years old on Android. And it was kind of promoted through the magazines. It's an indie game. It's only designed by a handful of people. So it's one of those games that doesn't necessarily have a big marketing team behind it. And
the argument could be made that, yeah, they're not really marketing it or putting it in front of a lot of people, but they're not spending a lot of resources on that and putting everything that they can into making the game as good as they can.
Right.
So, and I think it shows. Yes. Really, because it has a very tight design, a lot of really great polish to it. And everything that they've added in on top of it with update after update has just been more fleshing out to the game.
Yeah, for the people designing this, it feels like they're doing this as a passion and not as a thing to really push for a lot of super marketing. So they've incrementally released and made it better. So this is a dungeon crawler type game. It's randomly generated. You go through dungeons, you loot chests, you get random items, you get random enemy spawns, and you can choose, to be a couple different things as you level up. You have stats you put points into, so you can go mage focused, you could go warrior focused, or I guess you can go kind of roguey focused too, if I recall. Yeah.
So just to get the blurb here, Delver's first-person action roguelike dungeon crawler, and they say it has crunchy pixels. Crunchy pixels. So the idea is it is very pixely. It has a sort of an older graphics charm to it.
Yeah, it has that, I guess, Super Nintendo style to it.
At least the textures.
Yeah.
Now the 3D stuff, like the Super Nintendo could only really pull that kind of thing off with later in its lifestyle where they had the 32X stuff. But anyway. So Delver definitely does take that retro style and kind of bring it into the modern age with all of this, the depth and complexity of the levels. And like I said, they've been adding in just that much more. In fact, I do want to point out the latest update happened about a month ago as of recording this.
So there's even been a more recent update on the PC.
Yeah, there has been on the PC version, which is they've added a new dungeon area, which is the temple area.
Okay.
They've put an update to the boss area. They've now made it so the mouse wheel can be used to switch between the hotbar items. Which
Good.
People have been hoping for better win death scenes, so it's no longer just you lose, fade to black.
Oh, I like that. That was simple.
Potions can now be thrown.
Okay.
Instead of just drinking them randomly and having some positives, some negatives. Added more effects and things like that. And there was something here I saw. Oh, crusher traps, collapsing floors. Probably other stuff. So basically it's your standard early access update. So that's all the news we want to get through about the game, and we want to let Pander here ask questions and try to figure out get a sense for this kind of game. So I will say you can draw a lot of comparisons kind of with the Diablo series with its procedural generation and kind of the dungeon crawler thing, but it's a different game feel.
Right.
I would say.
So what questions do you have, Pander?
You have a little house with the little treasure chest and all that. Would you go back home?
Close. You have a campsite.
Yeah, you have a campsite in town. It has a chest by the campfire, and there are merchants there up at the town. And then you can go through the dungeons, and there's some warp places.
How many lives do you get?
One.
One per adventurer.
Oh,
One.
what's...
That's what roguelikes do.
Yeah, so if you die, you start over again with
You
a
can't put
different
another
adventure.
quarter in?
Well, you can. You just play as a different adventurer.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, even in quarter games, sometimes you die and that's it. You have to start over. So, now this is a game that you can also play on your phone. Since it's through the Google Play Store, or if you happen to have iOS or Apple phones, you can get it there too. I know on the Android store it's $2, and it's a $2 game. Don't have to worry about any ads. You can go through. You can get your RPG fix. The characters are all 2D sprite looking, which is very cutesy as you wander around through this dungeon.
And I've focused on the PC version just because the whole mobile control, touch control thing for a first-person game. If you can play that, great.
It works really well with this game.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. Versus keyboard and mouse. Now, granted, I like the keyboard and mouse better, but it does work very well.
Would they? I didn't check. Do they have a demo? I might check it out if they have a demo.
I don't think they have a demo.
Okay.
I think it's just straight up $2. But you know, it's had over 5,000 reviews on the Google Play Store at the very least.
What kind of reviews are those?
Very positive reviews.
Very positive.
Yes.
Same for the Steam page.
Yeah.
Very positive reviews.
So latest updates there, they're up to 0.8.6 AB, which fixes audio-related freezings and where players would get stuck walking after a pop-up closed because of pop-ups from other applications. So overall, you know, they're even still updating it on the Android side.
So it's sort of like a pick up, put down. I mean, can you just stop in the middle where you're at and just stop?
As long as you're not in the middle of a fight, yes, you can. You can close the app and come back. And you can save it on the PC and come back to that exact same point too.
So it's probably not something you want to play at work. Maybe on your break, but not at work.
Well, you shouldn't be playing games while
You
you're
shouldn't play
working
games at
anyways.
work.
Depends
Wink,
on
wink.
your job.
Look, I understand the boss makes $1, you make a dime. You still don't play Pokemon on company time, okay?
Hey, I told him I wasn't playing Pokemon yesterday. It was something else.
Okay.
Well, this is another game you could add to your not playing repertoire.
Yeah.
Definitely. You would be hard pressed to find a quiet moment in time to actually make it any further. It does require a little bit more focus than your standard casual game.
It does.
Yeah.
So it's semi-casual, I would put it at.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's the thing with roguelikes is it is kind of a casual thing in that you can get used to the setup pretty constantly,
Yeah.
consistently, but it still requires a level of focus or a level of gameplay that isn't something you can just leave and come back to over and over and over again. You do have to kind of sit there and at least get a decent clip down the road, a bathroom break's worth down the road before you can justifiably save and say, I can come back to this point and not feel like the effort was wasted.
Yeah. But you will die, and it's part of the learning experience. Then you have to learn from your mistakes as you learn the monsters and other things, and then you just keep going. And sometimes you get really lucky from the chests and the monsters you kill. Other times you just get completely hosed.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't feel bad when you die in this game from everything I've played.
Doesn't feel bad when I die in any game. They don't come out and really stab me.
Oh, okay.
Like any good roguelike, it's you will never ever expect to make it through on the first life or the 100th life. Like, you know, it's you learn more and more and the game unlocks more and more as you go through it. And to think that you could sit down and beat a game like that from loading it up for the very first time with the very first adventurer that you get is kind of that's not the correct way of thinking.
Right. So do you have any more questions on this?
No.
Well, what do you think? Would you give this game a chance? I will point out there's one other bit. It is $8 on Steam. So you said it's $3 on Android.
$2.
$2 on Android. Probably $2 and some change on iOS. So with that price point, would you give this game a shot?
The price point's okay. I'd have to say right now I have a lot of other little bitty games that I could just pick up or put down. And if I'm actually going to sit there and try and play a game, I'm going to probably want to be more an in-depth type of game. I'm either going to sit here and play on the PlayStation, the Xbox, or, play Diablo or something on the computer. I think maybe if I get bored with some of my other games, like my little on-the-phone games that I play at during break or in the car or whatever, then I might try it. But right now I probably have too many of that type of little game going on.
So not right now.
Not right now.
But you would.
But it's something that I would consider.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good.
That's a 75%.
Yeah, that's a 75%.
That's a C+. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Always good when you can twist somebody's arm into checking something out without beating them over the head.
Yeah. Well, why don't you let us know in the comments? Would you give this game a chance? Do you know of any other roguelikes that you want us to check out or that you would recommend?
And especially games that are cross-platform, where you can either play it on the PC or on the phone.
Yeah. You don't see that very often, at least
No.
not in my experience. Yeah.
Well, this has been Odd Man Out for the week. We've gone over Delver. If there's anything you would like to see us review in the future so we can try to convince somebody to play it, and maybe all of you out there too, let us know in the comments. Again, like, subscribe, and let us know how we're doing.
See you later, folks.
Later.
Later.
Shh! Don't tell these guys, but I stole Harrison's wallet. And if you, the viewer, subscribe and comment below as to what your favorite pop vinyl is on the front of my desk, you can be entered to win a copy of Delver, courtesy of Harrison. The contest will run through midnight on October 28th and we'll announce the winner November 3rd during Odd Man Out.
Hey, does anybody see my wallet?
And even he was like, can we play something else?
Yeah. This game-
Wow, it's not even good to watch.
Yeah, he was like, this is just terrible. Can we play something else?
Yeah.
Because it was just felt to him, it felt like it was just